Hello and welcome to part 3 of my Necrophos jungling guide. In this video I'll show you how to farm the Radiant jungle efficiently using this Highground jungle technique, which you might know from my Draw Ranger videos. This time I've chosen to also focus on some of the mistakes I make when I jungle like this, because even though this style of jungling is really fast, it's also difficult. So I figured I would also show you some of the most common mistakes I've made when practicing, because odds are you will probably make some of the same mistakes, so you might as well know what you're getting yourselves into. The general idea this time is to always have creeps in the medium camp and the hard camp here, so you can keep farming up these two camps with hard stop aura and right clicks, and also whenever possible you want to stack the hard camp to the right again and again. Start off by right clicking the medium camp, and while you're doing this take a second to identify the camps you've been given. In this case I get wolves, which is completely fine. Wolves are just like the centaurs and the golems, they're very easy to stack. So in this case I'm going to stack the medium camp here and the hard camp to the right at the same time. If you get ogres or satyrs here in the medium camp, it's generally bad because they are a bit more difficult to stack. They're not gonna stack 100% of the time. So if you get ogres or satyrs, then you should aim to stack the two hard camps at the same time, which I will show you in just a second how you do. But in this case I got wolves in the medium camp and I'm gonna go for a triple stack here to start things off. So closely look here. At 37 you start running towards the hard camp to the right. Then you pull the hard camp creeps at 43. And 43 is the time that your projectile should hit the creeps, which means you should probably start your attack already at 42. And then you should pull the creeps into this little pathway that you have created when you cut down the trees. And then when they return to their camp, you can pull them again from all the way up here. So start your attack around 51, so they will hit the creeps at 53. Then hit the medium camp at 55, and then immediately after hit this hard camp at 57. And as you can see, this allows you to stack all three camps at the same time, which is the perfect start to your jungle pattern. The medium camp and the hard camp to the right will always stack if you do it correctly, but the hard camp down here will not always stack. You need a bit of skill, a bit of luck, and also you need either centaurs or hellbear smashers here in the hard camp, but you might as well go for it, because obviously a triple stack is better than a double stack, and you will get the double stack off no matter what. But like I said, if you get satyrs or ogres in the medium camp, then you should aim to stack both hard camps at the same time, just to make absolutely sure that you will pull out the double stack. So, same procedure. Start running at 37, pull the creeps at 43, and then this time run down towards the hard camp instead. Pull the creeps from all the way up here, so start attacking at 51, so your attack will hit the creeps at 53, and then pull this hard camp immediately after. You can do this trick with any ranged hero by the way, and it will work every time if you do it correctly. But back to the replay. I do the triple stack and then I start farming the medium camp again. And now I take a second to look at the camps one more time. I'm trying to identify the weakest camp out of these four camps. Down here at the hard camp I got satyrs, which makes the centaurs a lot harder to kill due to the HP regeneration aura. But the wolves or the centaurs up here at the medium camp looks pretty weak, so I'm just gonna choose the wolves and try to kill them as soon as possible. And the reason I wish to kill off one camp specifically is that it makes it a lot easier to go for yet another double stack. So same as before, I start running at 37, then I pull the creeps at 43, then I pull again at 53 from all the way up here, and then I pull at 55 on the medium camp. Now I'm pretty satisfied with the amounts of creeps I have to work with, so now my priority changes. I no longer want to stack as much as possible, now I just want to boost my own level as much as I can. I'm choosing here to kill off the Satyr Tormentor because his HP regeneration aura counteracts my Heartstopper aura, so I want to kill this guy first. Then I'm gonna go for another stack, and at this point I only want to stack one camp at a time because the double stack is pretty time demanding and all I want right now is to get my own levels up as soon as possible. So I'm choosing here to stack the hard camp to the right. I could have also chosen to stack the hard camp to the left. In this case both options are pretty good. While all of this has been going on, I've had the courier bring me a Gloves of Haste, which I'm gonna use to complete the treads. After the treads you're free to buy whatever you want. If you want to hear more about the start items and the items later on, then you can check out part 1 where I talk a lot more about the items. So here I managed to clear out the two camps just in time to stack the hard camp to the right, and this is what you want. This is the ideal scenario, because killing off a camp right before the new camp spawns is just as good as stacking. In fact, it's better. At around 4 minutes into the game the trees will respawn in the order you cut them down, so you'll just have to cut them down one more time while you're farming. So cut down exactly the same trees as you did the first time and try to do it while you're still farming the camps. Then in a moment I will have my treads completed and also I'll get a mango. And with the treads you can abuse the sadist aura, so what you want to do is to have intelligence treads when you are right clicking and when you are using death pulse. Then when the creeps are dying you want the treads to be on agility, because this way you'll get more mana from your sadist aura. This time I'm choosing to stack the left hard camp to make sure I always have creeps in these two camps here. Normally I would say that stacking the medium camp in this position would be better, because the medium camp gives more experience compared to the effort you put into killing them. But with Necrophos you got your Heartstop aura, which works better on creeps with a lot of HP, so that pretty much evens it out. When you're jungling a Necrophos, remember to use the Heartstop aura to its fullest potential, so mostly you want to attack the creeps which got the most amount of HP left. This time my plan is to kill off the hard camp completely and then stack the medium camp, so here I hold my attack for just a moment and then I pull the medium camp at 55. If I didn't hold my attack here, then I would pull the medium camp too soon and then it wouldn't stack. The troll camp is the only camp that can actually do some damage to you, so you shouldn't just stand there and tank them. Instead drag them back and forth and right click them and use your Heartstop aura and 1 or 2 death pulses to bring them down. Here in just a moment at the 7-minute stack I made a mistake. I stacked the creeps too late. I became unsure if I have killed all the creeps in the hard camp and the medium camp. Generally what you wanna do is to remember how many creeps are left at the camp, then you click on the creeps to check if their HP is low enough to die from the Heartstop aura, and then when you can't see the creeps anymore you want to use the money sound that the creeps make when they die to ascertain whether you have killed them or not. The range of my Heartstop aura is just a little too short for it to reach both the medium camp and the hard camp, so this is why I keep dragging the hard camp creeps back and forth, so I'm sure they will always take damage from my Heartstop aura. You need to be level 6 or 7 to kill the hard camp stack. Preferably you want your level 3 death pulse, but you can also kill it with a level 2 death pulse if you got enough mana left. Here at 8 minutes is when you want to kill the stack. You really don't want to wait any longer because you don't want the other team to steal your stack. The sooner you kill the stack the better. In fact, I think you should bring in an ally hero to help you so you can kill the stack even sooner. And here again the tread switching is really important. Intelligence when you're using death pulse, and then immediately switch to agility so you get the most out of your sadist aura. And if you don't have your second level in sadist yet, then you should pick it up now, because you're gonna kill a lot of creeps and get a lot of mana back from the sadist. In this replay I use a mango to help me kill the stack. Alternatively you can get a null talisman or a staff of wizardry to get the sufficient mana pool so you don't have to waste 150 gold on a mango. But it kinda depends how much mana you got left and if you have 1 or 2 levels in sadist. But as a general rule, experience is more important than gold in the early game, so if you're unsure whether you're able to kill the stack or not, then just get a mango just to be safe. So now I'm level 8 and at this point the jungle pattern is complete. You can now go ganking or you can continue farming the jungle if you are allowed. Or if you're lucky, the other support have prepared a big stack of ancients so you can power level even faster. But if you stay, you should attempt to stack this hard camp and in between that farm as many of the other camps as you have time for. You can farm these 3 camps at the same time if you drag them and use your death pulse to damage all of them. So typically I get my level 10 between 11 and 12 minutes, at which point I also have completed the Rod of Aethas. In this replay I did pull off the triple stack, but also I made a few mistakes along the way, but level 10 at 11 minutes is still fast compared to other junglers. In this replay I skilled like this, where I got my level 3 death pulse before my level 2 sadist. But sometimes I skill like this, where I have my level 2 sadist before my level 3 death pulse. It sort of depends on how much mana I got left and if I plan to pick up a mango. In just a moment I'll show you another replay where I pick up my level 2 sadist a lot sooner. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the tree cutting phase. There are 2 different ways you can cut down the trees. Either you include the hard camp to the right or you don't include the hard camp to the right. So first you cut down these 3 trees here, so you create a pathway so the hard camp creeps can walk between the hard camp and the medium camp. Then if you plan on stacking the hard camp to the right, you cut down a few trees here, which will allow you to pull the hard camp from this angle. Cut down exactly the same trees as I'm cutting down, so you're sure you will have the vision of the camp required to stack without any problems. Then use the rest of the time to cut down trees here, which will allow you to get the vision you need, so you're free to right click the medium camp and the hard camp to the left. By cutting down the trees this way, you're setting yourself up to stack the hard camp like I've been doing so far, which will allow you to reach level 10 at 11 minutes and get that fast first item. But if you're looking to get active around the map the moment you hit level 6, then you can choose to only focus on these 2 camps, the hard camp and the medium camp, and then you just ignore the hard camp to the right. If this is your plan, then you don't have to cut down the trees by the hard camp to the right, which means you will instead have time to contest the first rune with your team. By doing it this way, you won't be able to power level to get to your level 10 at 11 minutes, but you will get your level 6 a little faster, typically between 6 and 7 minutes into the game, at which point you will pick up your ultimate and start ganking. Doing it like this might be the way to go in games where you're really worried about getting ganked and where you want to get active around the map sooner. It is kinda safer because you cash in your levels right away instead of relying on a big stack to boost your levels in the end. And also, of course, it's easier to execute this way since you're not gonna be going for the double stacks and the triple stacks. But now let me show you a replay where I get my level 2 cities are already at level 5, and here I go for the Staff of Wizardry instead of the Mango. This time I also tried to pull off this sick triple stack, but I failed, and that is completely fine. You need luck on your side to get the last hard camp to stack also, and as long as 2 of the camps get stacked, then you're still off to a good start. So what are the differences between jungling Necrophos on the Dire side and the Radiant side? Well, first of all, when I originally thought of this style of jungling, I decided that the difficulty should be 6 on a scale from 1 to 10 in terms of how technically difficult it is to pull off. But now in the last couple of weeks after I played this some more, I discovered a bunch of small details which helped me improve my level timings even further. So I discovered that the skill cap of this style of jungling is even higher than I had initially anticipated, so I'm choosing now to give this an 8, just like the Necrophos on the Dire side. So this is quite difficult to do, but it's not like you need a million lobby games to learn this. You'll get the hang of this after a few lobby games. But it just means that the more you practice, the faster you can get your levels. You can always improve, you can always get your level timings even faster. I'm not skill capped in this style of jungling. I still make some mistakes when I jungle like this. So let's compare the level timings between the Necrophos Highground jungling on the Dire side and the Radiant side. So the level 6, which is the most important level to reach, is faster on the Dire side. Unless you here on the Radiant side choose to only focus on the 2 camps to the left, then you can also reach your level 6 between 6 and 7 minutes here on the Radiant side. But then you won't have a big stack prepared for yourself to boost your levels even further. I also compared the level timings to the level timings you get by doing Ancients. The level 6 timing is about the same, but you get less gold by doing Ancients, and also you won't have this big stack to boost your levels. So bottom line, I prefer to do the high ground jungling in the Dire jungle when I play Necrophos. If you want to hear more about the pros and cons of jungling and Necrophos, then you can check out part 1 where I talk a lot more about this stuff. But I will say this, in pop games Necrophos jungling is amazing on both Dire and Radiant. In high level team games Necrophos jungling might work, but then you should really do it on the Dire side. The high ground jungling on the Dire side is faster and also it's a lot cleaner, because really it feels kinda messy to do the style of jungling on the Radiant side, because of all the trees respawning and the fog of war being so annoying. And also on the Dire side, if you're bullied out of the jungle and retreat to the Ancients area, then the Dire Ancients are a lot safer to use compared to the Radiant Ancients, which I'm talking a lot more about in part 2. The only upside about doing this on the Radiant side is that you don't have this huge medium camp stack with low HP creeps, which you do have on the Dire side. Here, by the way, I made the mistake of allowing the troll to summon the skeleton warriors, which meant I didn't have time to stack the hard camp to the right, which is a bit unfortunate. It's just like I failed the stack basically. And speaking of mistakes, here at the 8-minute stack, this stupid little tree respawned on me, so I lost vision of the camp just when I was about to stack it. So I completely panicked and attempted to stack the camp with my body, which is of course not gonna work when the camp is this big. This is a pretty good example of some of the challenges you will face when you jungle like this. The fog of war can be so annoying to deal with. In this replay I also completed the ATOS on top of the treads at around 11 minutes, at which point I'm level 10. And it's the same story as the last replay. I play really well, but also I make some mistakes along the way. And just for the fun of it, I wanted to see if I could get the Scepter on top of the ATOS in less than 20 minutes. It is very unlikely that you will be AFK farming for 20 minutes in the real game. Honestly, getting away with free farming the jungle for 10 minutes is even pushing it, to be honest. But yeah, that's it. Remember to check out the other parts of my Necrophos jungling guide where I show you how to farm the Ancients and how to do this high ground jungling technique on the Dire side as well. Next week in part 4 I'll show you how to get the fastest Midas you have ever seen in the jungle. 4 minutes. And if you like what I'm doing, then you can subscribe to my channel by clicking here. And also you can now find me on Twitter and Facebook. Let me know in the comments what you think about the guide. This video is probably longer than a jungle guide should be. I just wanted to be as thorough as possible because this style of jungling is not easy to pull off. I hope you guys still enjoyed it. Take care and see you next week for part 4 of my Necrophos jungling guide, and after that I'll move on to the next hero, which will be Tinker. Thanks for watching.